Hey everybody. Oh, the lights aren't on. Well, some of the lights are on. Give me one sec. There. That should be a little bit better at least. All right, so hi, happy Monday. Yeah, hey guys, commence the stream. So we're gonna do something a little different today. I think, uh-oh. What's the cat doing? I suspect she's gonna fall pretty soon. I was debating on whether I should do tenets this morning. I want to. I think let's at least try to do it quickly. I like starting every Monday morning with this, and yeah, this is just another part of this. So today, tenant review. All right, what was last week? What? Yeah, the cat's getting into mischief right now. Last week was all getting ready for the launch. Yeah. Okay, so post stream to-dos. Didn't add much. Learned that I need. Oh yeah, you can't see any of this. Learned that I need to take Thursdays to get stuff done, or it will just keep accumulating. Huh. Hey, Dennis. Okay, so there's that. What's next? Get to the point. That was the entire. This went well. This went very well. Sustainability. I think it's going okay. I think game dev consumed my life for about 3 weeks. It was fun, but I need to slow the pace a bit in the future. Yeah. All right, embracing failure. Embrace failure. Had to do some of this to ship a prototype. The feedback reflected where I cut corners. I think it's fine. Community is still not still sort of suffering here. And then celebrate successes. So, launched a prototype in 3 weeks. This is fantastic. And yeah, and now I'm putting together a team to work on the game. I feel like I've learned a lot about how to pursue all of this from Botland. Abby? I don't know if you can see her back there, like right there. See that movement? That's the cat going crazy. Whoop. Okay, hang on a second. She just knocked a bunch of stuff over. You okay? Yeah? Okay. Let's close this. All right. Yeah, we spot her a little. Yeah. All right, so today is mostly about music creation. I don't know if I updated the today command. I probably did not. But there we go. So I can't say this is going to be a great stream or anything because I am not very good at this. But I want to see how it goes. If it's fun, you know, maybe we do it occasionally. If it's not fun, yeah, we could just ditch it completely. So yeah, I don't have any like set music I'm trying to create. You know, we made this game, the prototype, and I kind of want to just use this as inspiration, looking at the game world and seeing, you know, what would the game sound like. One of the things that's tough about this is because you're going to be controlling multiple characters, you can't just have like Forest Zone music playing because you might have a character over there and another one in a different part of the world and, you know, someone somewhere else. Yeah, FL Studio. I'll add a command for that. I think I have an FL Studio command at least. FL Studio. Yeah, I'll just alias that. There we go. So, yeah, we're just gonna get started. I have a couple of keyboards here. I have a very small one, and then I have this Novation that is, I believe, 49 keys. And yeah, I want to do an audio check first. So how is this compared to my voice? Is it overpowering? Is it too quiet? If I were just not talking, very soft. Okay. Let me increase this. Yeah, it's low, but I feel like the track I was playing earlier wasn't low. Where did that plugin go? Here it is. Yeah. Okay, so let's close that, go over to here. Let's take something here. I don't know, an electric piano. How's that? Is that still pretty low? Or is that better? If I weren't talking, that sounds good. Okay, if I weren't talking, is this like comfortable listening volume? Why does this sound... Why is this sustained? Huh. That's peculiar. I don't have a pedal connected or anything, so I don't know how it could be doing that. Turn down just a little bit. Okay, that should be good. Is that okay? Okay. All right, so yeah, why is this sustained? Is it every instrument? And hang on, I have a sustain key here. Okay, no, it's definitely not sustained. It's just the electric one for some reason. Huh, weird. I don't know what happened. All right, well, I kind of want to mess around with this synth. I didn't buy any synths, and I kind of wanted to use the built-in stuff and see what happens here. And so I've been messing around with Citrus a little bit. It's the instrument settings that has reverb? Yeah, it must be. And unfortunately, I'm not totally sure how I would change that quickly. Although it doesn't matter because I don't need to use that instrument. FL Studio, I wrote down a couple of things. Yeah, Citrus, Flex has some stuff. Flex. F-L-E-X, yes. Okay, but it's capitalized. Flex. Let's take a look at that too, because I just want to see what we've got here. Oh yeah, I've used this a little bit. I don't know what we have exactly, but let's see. Actually, we could just use this one. Oops, sorry. I hit the mic. Oh, that's a cool sound. Yeah, very neat. Ooh, also neat. This reminds me of Dire Docks. Ooh, hey Atomic Man. Yeah, I like this. I like this general pack that we're using here. This is all synthwave. I don't know what Arc Sun Cityscape is supposed to be, but possibly. Oh yeah, a lot of these are pretty cool. What am I doing? I'm making music today. Check out the today command. Whoop. Well, anyway, that should have just worked. Yeah, cool. Can I play by ear? Not really, no. Yeah, this pack is really cool. And this particular instrument sounds very rich. Did I buy FL Studio? Yeah, a very long time ago. And hey, for Missouri. Oh, very neat. What's the vibe in the stew right now? What? Hey, Griffin. I don't know if I have a setup command, but if I did, I don't think you could have a... Yeah, I have a music setup command. I think that's the one you might want to see. Although it doesn't include the tiny MIDI keyboard. All right, hey, Jason Bateman. Where did I download FL Studio? Is that what you're talking about? Because the synth that you're seeing here is just built in. This is pretty cool too. So I'm not totally sure. As I mentioned, I don't even know with the game what kind of theme we'd be trying to make exactly. Like, do we go for more ambient music? Do we go for something melodic? I don't know. Yeah, this is definitely a super cool sound. All right, take care, Jason. The stuff that you're asking, Paul, you should probably just Google. I do want to kind of focus on music creation. I don't generally mind that answering questions, but those are like just pretty straightforward, factual questions. One of the problems with having a keyboard this size, as opposed to the one I have to my right here, is that you only have 2 full octaves in a C scale. So beyond that, you've like run out of keyboard. I mean, I guess that's, you can transpose, but yeah. All right, some of the stuff in here sounds pretty cool. I'm just trying out instruments right now to get inspiration. Yeah, very neat. Laser harp. Yeah, very neat. Hey, Casey. Mr. Blubber. You read me a bot love ballad. Yes, of course. Let's switch back to the computer taped tune. What part am I starting with? Like just exploration or combat? Exploration of music, really. So, as I kind of mentioned earlier, the game is hard to figure out what I even want for musical direction here. Because Abby, come on, just trying to get to the keyboard box. Uh, if you have characters in all different parts of the world, like what music should be playing? And in a typical game, if you just had one character, you'd be like, oh, okay, this is the start of the game. It should be an adventurous tune or something like that. And then what happens if you had, one character fighting a boss? Should boss music play? So I don't totally know. And that's why I'm just going to try to figure out, like, how do I make something and then see if it eventually fits? It's kind of backwards. But we're just exploring. So wait, where did I leave off here? I think this one. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I think I want to use this synth. The other one isn't too bad, but this has some nice packs. Do I have musical instruments? Yeah. Every character level add a new track. There's just like this at the beginning. Yeah. Ooh. Punch it. I had a chord progression I was working on before this, which I actually I really liked. The art was 800, but the music was 308,000. Can't play it on this. Ooh, this is super cool. It's electric piano. Just finished modding another channel. Oh, cool. Yeah, nice. Welcome in. Could be that you can complete a region music, so every level you get a note or part of the song. I think building up music like that would be probably pretty tough, though. It's not a bad idea. It's just you got to make it work. I'm doing well. I'm feeling good about the launch of the prototype. I got a lot of direction that I can take with the game, and we're going to get into that, but this week is all about catching up for me. So this is the only stream I'm going to do this week. Overworld ambient track when zoomed out and when you focus on some specific character, crossfading combat music. Yeah, only I think there's going to be combat happening pretty much all the time. And I don't know if I just want to do ambient music. I like the idea of... Okay, here's kind of what I'm leaning toward, but maybe this doesn't make sense. There are tracks that play as though you were in a particular part of the world. I guess they just sort of play at random, though. Maybe it is based on the character you have selected or something like that. But if you select different characters every like 5 seconds, it's not going to make sense. Yeah, I'll have to see how this works. We'll have to prototype some things. And in fact, I think the best thing to do is probably download existing music and just play it in the game and kind of test things out that way. Sponged Up. There's a tune I'd made a while ago that actually kind of I want to remake and see if it fits inside of the game. These keys are so tiny. Can you play a chord progression if you see one? Yeah, I can. Ooh, whoa, Square Woof. All right, that's... I don't like leads a lot of the time because of, well, at least not for improvising, unless I already have something foundational here. I don't have anything yet. I haven't even written a single note. Squidgy tissue. Interesting. Is this in the base version? It's in the base version, yeah. All these packs are something you download, I think, but it's for free. Oh. That'd be good for botland. Okay, so just sticking with this pack, let's see. So there were some things I liked up here. Did I see your last two messages? Oh yeah, sorry, I'd seen them. I just didn't I didn't respond to them. Have a different instrument or tune per character. So yeah, there are a couple things to think about here. One is unless I'm swapping out instruments almost like programmatically, I think it would be really tough to make 10 different characters. And then if I'm like, I want an 11th character, it's not just, okay, get the artwork, design the character itself for gameplay, but now add in a new instrument. So I think we got to do something a little bit more minimal for this. Like, I don't know how many music tracks I would even make for the game. Maybe like 5 or 6 and kind of see how that goes. And even that would take a long time. Do I have something fun planned? Something fun planned, yeah, for the longer vacation. For this week, it's only time off the stream. It's not a vacation. I've got a ton of stuff I need to do. Yeah. Very neat. I think I want something with a little less reverb to start with, and then we're gonna actually like try to make something here. Probably should have been writing down which ones I liked. Can you favorite the ones you like? Yes, I did not realize that. There is a star here. Hey, Boppy. Also, there's like a million other packs here, which is why at some point I just need to kind of move forward with something. Okay, maybe we start with this one. Sounds like Binding of Isaac to me. Maybe it's just because what I played. Do you use a MIDI interface for your keyboard? Sorry for the question. No, no, it's not annoying. This is connected over USB. The other one's connected over USB. I have an actual digital keyboard that produces music, and it's not just a MIDI controller. And that one, I typically connect over MIDI, but that's much larger, and I don't have space right now for that. Thanks, Shiloh. Fun fact: the music you're hearing is actually generated by Atom's sound chip. Keyboard's only there as a visual representation. Yes, Atom AI. Yeah, so power metal. Well, there are a lot of games whose music I like, and I always think of like, would that fit in this game? And I still haven't figured it out. I've played other tracks over, I mean, this is the prototype of the game, right? But I've played other tracks over this, and I'm just like, it doesn't quite fit. So I'll need to keep exploring and trying stuff out. Anyway, let's see. Let me turn this up a little bit, so for myself at least, so I can hear from here. Want to check out something else here? Okay, let's see. No. I forgot about that one. All right. So, there was this. Yeah, liked that one. Liked, I think, this one. Yeah, this is FL Studio. Yeah. I tend to write out the part and just let it play while I click through sounds. You mean to see if it fits in the setting you're trying to use it in? Also, I want to kind of see what else did I have here for this stuff. Ooh, that's loud. Okay, no, not using this. What about this? Yeah, a lot of these are intense. Mobile synth pluck. Okay, and these are all plucks. Tried AI generators? No, I haven't yet. I figured I would just kind of boot up the stream and see what happens as I play stuff, and hopefully we strike something here. That's sort of what happened. When I was thinking of the title screen music, which I ended up liking, I kind of just sat at the keyboard and I'm like, okay, Idle Ascendance, what would I probably play? Yeah. Anyway, something like that. Lemmy, thanks for subbing. What's the small keyboard? Yeah, it's not music setup. I know. I gotta let me add it. Okay. Medium MIDI controller. Small MIDI controller is a Nectar SE25. Yeah, I'll link to it here. This is a pretty reasonable price, I'd say. There we go. MIDI hold it down. Having anything pre-written is hard part though, like knowing what you want, kind of. Yeah, and that's the issue with exploring this stuff is, you know, I feel like, let's say you're making Zelda and you're like, all right, title screen, what are we gonna do? Cool. You know what the player is kind of thinking or what they're about to do, Then you get into the game and you want some, very adventurous tune. You get into a dungeon, you want something a little more foreboding. I think it's nice having one character in a game that you follow, that then it's obvious what you might be feeling in that environment. I think it's harder in a game like StarCraft, where and what StarCraft did is they just had ambient music. It just sounds good. A track plays out. It doesn't reflect what's happening in the game. Maybe the cinematics have music that reflects what's happening in the cinematic, but that's totally different. That's like making music for a film at that point. Atacom failed. Oh, whoops. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, geez, these things are loud sometimes. None of these are really, are really, like, I can play this again. Yeah, sorry. It's loud here too. Yeah, I think this is the other problem I run into is I'm like, look, when you've got, 400 instruments at your disposal, how do you pick ones that you want to use? And I think this is like anything else. You've got to just cut through it somehow. You just say, okay, these 4 are decent. Let's just make something with it. And then it's a question of, is it good enough? Spoken like a true producer. Spoken like a guy who knows like nothing he's talking about is going to ever work. Oh, how about this? I had a track from a while ago that I kind of wanted to play out. So let's stick to this pack maybe, and let's see if we can do something with it. No, that won't work. We need. This is not the instrument for that. I'm so torn. All right, we're gonna try something here. All right, so let's see. This is too low. Too much. All right, maybe we end up going back to this. I'm trying to picture this. No, I'm not inclined to use it. Is this a curtain reveal stream? No, I don't think we're gonna do anything too fantastic on this stream. I really like this sound. All right, let's see what we got. Okay, I realize now what's going wrong with this. I want like a higher velocity curve, and I don't know how to get that easily, and I don't want to look at my instructions I wrote for this a while ago. All right, I like the idea there. This. But this is like it's like a sad tune in a video game. There's been a curtain this whole time. Hey, Pretzel. Count me out. Yeah, I'm using a Mac. Yeah, try substituting E with D sharp for softer feel. We'll have to back up there because I don't remember what I was doing. Yeah, no, not sure what you're talking about. All right, let's switch to a different instrument. Just keep moving around until eventually something strikes, and I'm like, that's it. It was divine inspiration. Cat reveal, consider me back in. Easy 2, please. All right, what do we got here? I like generally just kind of experimenting on some of the more piano sounding things because they're more what I'm used to for this. Although not directly a piano, I guess. Doesn't even really sound like a piano. Did I ever take piano lessons? Yeah, I took piano lessons. I'm gonna find something here. Oh, what's this? It's like half organ. It's really called Dingle. What does it do? Nobody knows. Bell. Taco Bell. Ooh, what's this? Hmm. So torn. I don't know how people cut through this stuff. Like, I just get stuck at some point. And I'm like, what am I doing? Oh, I had some ideas that I was working on when I was just at a piano. Yeah, something like that. Like a regular instrument. I feel like that's too like NES style video game music. You only use stock plugins. I've gotten extra plugins in the past, and I even spent a ton of money on a set of more realistic sounding instruments. I have a couple of problems with that stuff. One is that it makes FL Studio get closer to like crashing or take forever to load. I need these installed, and they're like several hundred gigabytes. And so I just kind of want to just use stock stuff at some point, and that way the editor just opens immediately. I plan on sticking with the SNES style art. Something like that, yeah. I think it's the only thing that can kind of work for this. Also, I've been debating on having the name of the game be. I know it sounds kind of stupid. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue, but something like Simula Fantasy, which gives the simulation aspect and the like Final Fantasy sort of aspect here. And I mean, it's just a fantasy world, and I don't know, something like that sounds pretty good. The writing is the most important. Yeah, you know what? Maybe that's a really good suggestion. Yeah, Contact is I have Contact. So that's the thing that I bought. I've got the whole Contact 5 library. They're probably up to like Contact 7 or 8 by now. But yeah, I don't like loading it. I don't like, I don't know. And I think that's if I went with more realistic instruments, which I think if you're making something with realistic instruments, there's this almost uncanny valley that happens where if they're not totally real, then you might as well have gone on the other end of the spectrum completely. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not like super impressed by it. Let's do what it is that Grimmin suggested here. Let's at least just find an instrument that is pretty neutral and just come up with some tunes on that. In fact, maybe Contact is good for that because it would sound the most realistic. Problem is, only one of these things works. It's kind of stupid. Like I can't add just Contact or I might crash FL Studio. Yep, already crashed it. This is one of the most frustrating parts of this. Like one of these just doesn't work basically, and it keeps finding it. Contact. Did I write this down? I can't even close FL Studio right now. Gotta force quit. All right, so it's apparently this one, Contact 5.8 out, but I'm pretty sure I had done this last time, and even that didn't work. This one? All right, well, at least added it this time. So yeah, here are the ones I have for this stuff. Does this work? Demo. This is a demo thing. I wonder if that has a different meaning here now. Okay, so is this stuff connected? Enable. Enable. Yeah. I think I was logged in to get this. I don't know. There was some like stupid downloading program that they had. I didn't like basically any of the process. And now I don't want to buy some new version of this. But yeah, let's mess around with this. At least this sounds a lot like a real piano. Yeah. So, okay. Next, I think we need to target a certain aesthetic or otherwise somehow feel of this. And so when I think of like forest music, actually one of my favorite forest themes or takes in a lot of different games that I've played, the Forest Temple of Ocarina of Time had this very mysterious feel, but that was fitting for like kind of a little bit eerie, little adventurous, not totally sure what's gonna be around the corner. Can I make it louder? Is that a little better? Because this keyboard is easier to play loud on. Basically a horror track, yeah. Have I decided if I'll pursue the game? Yeah, I'm going to. I'm definitely going to. The way that this is going to play out is something like this. So Friday of last week, launched the prototype. It's playable. Decided that we'll pursue the game. And now I am going to form a team and redesign the game. And maybe prototype one little, well, one not little change, I guess, one system change that I had. And then after that, some number of months on development. How'd the launch go? Did you get an expected amount of feedback? Yeah, the feedback was really good in terms of volume. I think where is it here? Yeah, so I got 35 responses. I think one of these must be new because I think it said 34 before, but almost all of these were from Friday. And this is perhaps one of the most important things here. I had fun playing the game, and the vast majority of people were in either agree or strongly agree. So this combined forms nearly 70%. So like people had fun, and it was a prototype, and it was very, very hastily made and everything. And so then this one wasn't as positive, but this is like I would pay for the game, and this was about 42, 43%. And then the last one was like, I want to see a storyline. And I think most people said they want to see it. Yeah, or they were neutral. So yeah, that is. And then there's some long form answers down below. And so I think this has been pretty good. I think it's, yeah, we'll pursue it. Hey, Tim. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it evolves too. Definitely. Hang on one sec. Hang on. All right, my wife didn't know I was going to be streaming today. And thank goodness she. Anyway, doesn't matter. Can I still play the prototype? Yeah, it's still playable. I'm gonna take it down at some point, I think, only because at some point it's not gonna represent the game anymore, and I don't want people thinking like, oh, this is, I don't know, whatever. It's also not gonna ever get more polished. But then we'll make it so that you can just play the game as it's being developed, I think. Anyway, perceived as disagree more than agree. It could be, yeah. And I think if it's minimal enough, I think as long as it doesn't get in the way, it'll be fine. And it'll add just a little bit. So I have some ideas there. I don't think that's going to be too bad. Okay, so anyway, we have a realistic sounding piano. And what I was saying is, when I was thinking of forest tunes, the Forest Temple is one of the ones that stands out to me quite a lot. But then practically every RPG has a forest in it. You like the forest theme for Secret of Mana? How did that one go? Wait, hang on. How did it go? Yeah, then. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, Secret of Mana I generally really liked. Hey, Golden Sun. Yeah. I've only been back for about 4 months, so maybe that's why you haven't seen me in a while. But welcome back. Good to see you again. We're going to be doing game dev again. Yeah, I like the Secret of Mana soundtrack. Yeah, and I think something like that could work. You know what? How about this? Let's look up VG lead sheets. I don't know if they'll have it here, but this is generally a pretty good way of finding this stuff. You said it was called Into the Thick of It. Okay, so what do we have here? All right, so this is literally just 2 chords. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, I have this idea for a tune that I was mentioning that I think sounds good. I think it's a little bit more 8-bit than this 16-bit sounding. But this is mostly just D major to G minor. Secret of the Forest from Chrono Trigger. What's this one? I don't remember this. Oh yeah. I'm not playing the correct rhythm, I know that, but all right, so chord wise, what do we have here? We have G flat major 9. Again, we have 2 chords, and again they're a half step away from each other. That's very interesting. Huh. What other kind of forest themes? Not that we even really need a forest theme, but if we just type forest, what shows up? Oh man, Mad Forest. This was like one of the best ones. What do we have here? A Mystic Forest. I heard this one. Yeah. All right, so here what do we have? We have A minus sharp 5. So that's a weird way of just saying F major, I guess. A minus 6. Is that different? No, maybe it's this. I don't know. I don't know what you would consider this to be. And then A minus 6, how would that be? Oh. I don't know. I have to see that written out. Elwyn Forest. I don't know if that's here. I also don't know what that, I don't remember what that sounds like. How long did I take lessons for? Probably something like about 10 years, I think. And then at some point I realized I don't want to be performing music anymore as much as creating it and improvising it. I feel like if you were to learn whatever, a piano concerto or a sonata or something like that, as an amateur, it takes a very long time to get it polished. And you get, the majority of the way there pretty quickly. And then it's just a lot of like drilling and repeating. And also that you can maybe get a YouTube video or something, or, play for your friends. I just don't think that's worth the effort for me. I see Golden Sun. Oh, this one? I've played Golden Suns. Let me see. I don't know what that is. F. Wait. Oh. All right, so what do we have here? We have A minor to G. So I'm gonna go by a whole step, then down a half step, then down a half step. So interesting. Hmm. Plain Sing Bollywood? Yeah. Yeah, I think music is just a core of humanity. I think music, storytelling, and food. I think those will always bind cultures together. And so I think it's really good to pick up an instrument and just kind of express yourself somehow. I should probably take a break. And then maybe I don't know. Well, this is how you've seen this stream go is probably how this stream is going to continue to go. So if you've been enjoying so far, then definitely stick around. But otherwise, it's not going to get any better than this. I'll be back in a little bit. Is it jump time? It's jump time. All right, hang on, everybody. Close the game. Hopefully the lag is gone though, right? What happened to the music? What's going on? What is going on? It's seemingly playing. I can't hear anything though. I blame contact, even though I don't know if it's actually contact. I don't know what could have even happened here. Well, I guess we could just try this. Yeah, it's definitely contact. Why? Demo timeout. Yeah, that shouldn't be a thing. Activate. What's this? Click here to activate. What did it? Oh, there it goes. Oh my God. Yeah, it must have been OBS. I've done this already. I don't know why this is. Okay, let me go into privacy mode here so I can type in my password. Yeah, I've done this already. I don't know what dependencies it's installing. Demon's trying to install a new helper tool. Oh my God. Stupid stuff. Is it working? Updates. Contact 7 and massive. I don't think I even need that stuff. Is this now working? Can I use this? X out of this and add this one in. Still says demo timeout. I don't know. Wait, what version of native access will be installed when exiting the application? Okay. Do I have end user license agreement? Oh my God, I'm not spending the time reading this right now. I'll have to do this later. Fine, this is stupid. Oh, so dumb. Are all of these considered demo then? I'm guessing they are. Yeah. Ugh. I already. So stupid. And then the last thing I'll try here is what if I delete this and re-add it? Like, did running whatever program I just run actually help? It probably didn't. By the way, mentoring starts in an hour and a half. So after the next break, I've got to probably start trying to get ready. How often do you practice sight reading to keep up with your skills? As someone who took lessons for 12 years and paused for a couple, my sight reading skills are what I lost the quickest. If you do continue to practice, what do? I go back and forth between Bach chorales and just random music that is about level. I mean, I think the way that anyone gets better at sight reading is practice. And I think the way you make that practice easier is by finding something you're motivated to do. And so for me, a lot of it was kind of this, oh my God, this is why I stopped using contact. For me, some of it was this, like I like video game music, and having lead sheets made it so that you could play the melody and then come up with whatever you want for the harmony. And this is a decent way. You've probably heard of IMSLP, which is the International Music Score Library project. Yeah, this has a lot of classical music that is now available to be used. So, yeah, I think that stuff can help. But honestly, I think what it should come down to in the end is what music do you eventually want to play? And if you want to play music that other composers wrote, then yes, sight reading is pretty important. But if you don't, if you just want to play your own stuff, then maybe you don't even really need sight reading. Have I played with Suno.ai? No, I listened to a track that Casey shared on Discord. V3 is super impressive. Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to maybe play around with it. And thanks for resubbing. I'll Twitch that. Let me write that down. Check this out. Okay, so let's get back to just having some piano sound here. Do we have something that's good enough in this? Also, did this electric one still sound... Where is it? This. Yeah, it still sounds like it's being sustained, excuse me. All right. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess we could try adding Kontakt one more time because it will probably work this time, except for it might still show as a demo. Like half the time, this literally just doesn't even load. All right, whatever, we're quitting. Force quit. I don't want to deal with this anymore. The thing is, I felt like Kontakt has always been, I mean, the instruments sound fine, but I feel like as a plugin and everything, it just never really worked that well, even when it was new. So that's what made me not want to ever try the new ones. Like, why would I trust that it got any better? And I think having good sounding instruments is the most important thing. But if your program crashes when you try adding it, then it becomes frustrating. All right, what's something we can mess around with here? Yeah, let's mess around with this. All right, so what we've seen for most of the forest themes is it's usually, this doesn't work, start with any chord and then go down a step or a half step. And I mean, that's probably a lot of tracks, not just that. Sound design, yeah, well, not going so well. Okay, so let's write some of this down. What do we have here? G to F sharp to B diminished. Yeah, F sharp to whatever it is I played after that I liked that I've already forgotten. Hey, Metalstorm. Yeah, okay. Some of that's better. I think it sounds water lovely because of the instrument. Maybe something more stringy. An accordion. These aren't strings. Have you heard of MIDI-ness? No, I haven't. Fun music generation tool that, as someone who loves visual programming, found to be a really interesting way to compose music. Made some compositions for my game using it. Probably not something to set up to try on stream because you have to manually connect it to your DAW. Might be fun looking at. Yeah, it sounds interesting. I think I haven't made enough music in my life to have nailed down how I should make the music. I've done some piano compositions, I've done some game compositions, and like some of it I actually like. And others I think have good ideas and were never developed properly. But yeah, for all of them I just kind of sat at a piano and tinkered around and then did something with it after it. And it was a lot of work. These aren't really what I want. I think Flex might have something better because they had a string library over here. This, yeah. Maybe something like this. Yeah, that's not bad either as far as chords go. This to this to this to this. This sounds more like an accordion than violins. I like that general motif. I don't have any more keys there. Again, I think back to like the music alone could be fine, but does it fit in a game? Well, this game. And no, I don't think so. It's like a whimsical. I wonder if I looked at something like Secret of Mana before it had a soundtrack and thought, what music would I make for this? You know, I'd probably be equally stuck. Maybe there's some insight there. Hmm. It was script. Hmm. Something I was thinking about as I was playing that. What was that? It's so weird working with 2 octaves. Don't sound like an anime intro. Thanks, not trying my best. uh yeah, I still don't know what I'm doing. But like I said, this is the stream and we'll just figure it out together. Hey Steve. Have we made any progress? No. But that's okay. And I think trying to constrain this to let's just make video game music is probably a bad idea, and I should just keep exploring. More keys for that. DJ, turn on the volume. That keyboard is quieter than this one, but this only has 2 octaves. I wonder if I could fit this keyboard on my desk and then just turn up the sound through the stream. Let's put this over here. This might not fit. Okay, that might have been loud. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'm not going to fix the camera or anything. Okay, so I'm going to turn it up a tiny bit because of the difference in volumes here. So hopefully this isn't too loud. It's at negative 14.4 right now, which I should probably write down. Negative 14.4 is good for the tiny keyboard. I'm going to turn this up a bit and let's see if that's good. So how does this sound? Is that decent? Quiet still? Okay, let's try this. Just make FL Studio Instrument audio louder. I can, yes. Let's maybe do that. So I'll turn this back down and turn this up. All right, how is this? It's probably still a little quiet because I also lowered the OBS sound that I was using. Exact same volume. Yeah, I thought it would be. Okay, so then let's also up this And now we should be good. Are we doing better there? We're probably also picking up some of the key sounds from the microphone, which I can turn down. I could still up by maybe a few decibels. Okay, I'll turn it up a tiny bit more, just so that it won't be too noticeable. All right, so let's see. So there was something a long time ago, maybe not too long, but this. That on its own right there. I very much like the sound of that. Big boy keyboard's now on the desk. I have a favorite piano piece. Oh man, I like the Forgotten Melodies by Nikolai Medtner. What are some other things that I've been kind of recently listening to? There's a Rachmaninoff, I think it's a prelude, Opus 23, number 7. It's very good. I mean, all the, typical repertoire of geniuses, Beethoven, Chopin, Tchaikovsky. I just love piano music. I think it's so great. Legend of 1900, you know it? No, what is that? Is it a legend or is it a music piece? Ah, I see. Movie. No, I haven't heard of it. I think, oh man, I don't know. All this stuff sounds like it's more like movie forest than video game forest, and maybe it's because I'm using a piano sound, but next death metal single dropping. Just scream sing the whole thing. Okay. Um, one of the things I kind of wonder about is, let's say AI music is kind of good enough for a game. What if we went that route and then spent the time focusing on gameplay? I'm a genius. What was the thing I was working on earlier then? By the way, half diminished seventh chords going up like that. Will always sound like Zelda to me. Game platforms may or may not allow it depending on the training material. Yeah, I'm mostly kidding anyway, but one of the things that's kind of frustrating about game dev is that even if you possess all of the skills, it all just takes so long to get everything together that you kind of want to cut corners some ways. And it's like, okay, hiring a developer costs a ton of money. Hiring a musician costs like a good amount of money, like hundreds of dollars per minute of music produced. And it makes me kind of think, what if in the future, the next game I try to make, maybe I try to get a publisher or something. I just feel like, I don't know. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself like greatly here. We're talking like 2025 territory. Yeah, so I'll keep messing around for a bit, and then in about 40 minutes we transition to mentoring. And then this afternoon, I was kind of debating on reworking the prototype code of what I'd done to try out a different system. I don't think it would take very long to do that, and then maybe, I don't know, publish it as like a private version of the prototype that I had. Do not like that. Oh, this is really nice. Thanks, Journey AI. Hmm. The pitch bend works and the mod doesn't. I still think there's something in that chord progression. I think with AI though, there's the IP considerations that tablets didn't have. I think there will be a day where we don't have that as much of a consideration. That I don't know, AI has transcended the inputs and is producing things on its own, so to speak. I think there's still something to be said for your inputs to the creative process. I think overseeing something with a prompt is very different from overseeing it with music theory knowledge and toying around and listening to your ear, listening with your ear, excuse me. Breath of the Wild went in a totally different direction with all their music, which is like very sparsely populated, lots of like I don't want to copy them, but also I don't think it would work for this game exactly. What was that I had in my head the other day? You record it all while you jam when you find something fun along the way, or do you just rely on your memory and stopping and writing things down? when I find something I like, I try to record it into my keyboard and then typically mess around with it and see where it goes from there. I don't end up developing a lot of the pieces that I come up with ideas for. And a lot of it is because I'm just not very good at it. So I have an idea, I come up with a few measures, and I'm like, oh, I don't know what to do now, and I just stop. Is the keyboard cam purposely only showing the top? No, I just it's a little hard to keep changing this stuff, so I figured I'd just play music and not worry about it. Never got around to beating it. I think those games are really hard to go back to if you haven't played them in a while. But Breath of the Wild is very fun. Hey, still. I don't want something like I don't want you to start the game and hear something like that. I just feel like it's too slow and like I Zelda started with what? Um Wait, I can't remember now. Yeah, that. I can't have going. And I think that to me is like quintessential adventure music. And I think that's something more like what I should try to be coming up with. Hi, Juicebox Hero. Welcome back. Thanks for resubbing. Reminds me of the Smosh Other video. I have not seen that. Man, I don't know. I'm just gonna keep messing around, whatever. Well, we got what, 40 minutes? I'll keep tinkering around for a bit. I think I just need to wait for some inspiration and kind of keep tinkering around. I don't know. Do you mind closing it? All right. Gotta stop having so much talent. No, trust me. Here's what we've composed so far. Do you see this? There's nothing. This is after 2 hours. I've got some ideas. I just don't think they're fitting for a game like this. I don't know. I really like this idea of Yeah, I just don't think something like that would work for this game. Go for a minor key, but only play the major tones and throw in some perfect fifths and be done with it. Throw in a wowie dog on the keyboard. And our request game has at least one sea shanty. See what fits and try to recreate. So that's the thing. I haven't found any music that fits for this game. I played some other music from other games, over the top of the game, and I just felt like, it doesn't really work. What happened to the green screen? Oh, for this stream, I was going to have a keyboard here and another keyboard on my desk, and I thought I'll just get rid of the green screen for now. It's just on the floor back there. You see that black bar right there? It pulls out of that. There was a tune from when I was making Botland a while ago. It sounded very like Western to me. Do I still have this? I don't even know. Yeah. Ice World, what is this? This might be super loud, so I should probably just turn this down. I don't know, this is me just tinkering with something from a while ago. Let's make a new thing here and go back to, where's Flex? All right, so we haven't messed around with guitar stuff yet. I don't know if this is gonna be super loud, so no, that's not bad. Hey, Liquidor. Random 2, random 7, random 3. These are very meaningful names to me. Hey, Hagerman, I see you saw my clip that I took. The flower face. This is a really cool instrument to just kind of figure things out with. Favoriting this one, Ace of Space. Good job, Ace of Space. A lot of cool instruments in this. Are those free packs and presets? Yeah, yeah. This is all inside of Flex in FL Studio. Yeah. There's something in there that I thought could actually work for the game, and I've forgotten it. Maybe I'll listen to the stream again. It sounds like Mario Kart music already. This is an adventure feel. I feel like this is like on the beach, chilling in the sun. How hard is it to learn the basics of FL Studio? Basics, not too bad. But as you can see, there are like sliders and knobs and stuff everywhere. There's something kind of cool though. I'll show you this. You can see, let's see, like this, for example, on my keyboard, right? So you can just right click any knob in FL Studio and click link to controller, and then just twist a knob on the keyboard, and there. Now the knob on the keyboard is controlling this thing up here. And you can do that for everything. So like I can have this be a slider over on this side of my keyboard. And now I can, move a slider up and down. So that's really cool. I mean, this is not some like crazy feature or anything if you've used a digital audio workstation before, but it's still pretty nice. Nice to have that. wasn't super tropical feeling. I guess it sounds to me like the Super Mario Kart Koopa Troopa Beach, but I don't even remember how that goes anymore. Do 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 do. No, it's not that. What is that? Where's the VG lead sheets? Whoops. It's hard to type over a keyboard. Do they have it on here? Kart. This one. Yeah. How did this go? So wait, what is it? This is let me switch away from a metal guitar. Let's go back to chill guitar. Yeah. Oh, the mod doesn't work on this. Okay, let's see. So they have D7. And what was I playing earlier? It was C7. It's similar enough. I'm gonna keep just going with this. Then I'll take a break. Then we'll get into mentoring stuff. So probably another 15 minutes of this. So where we leave off, there's some metal thing I stopped using. This maybe. Well, this sounds pretty nice. Hey, Carm. Nice to see you too. Yeah, we are totally messing around here. The idea of this was supposed to be that we were going to make music for the game that I launched a prototype of on Friday. So it is this. And the game itself is an automated battler. You get in these battles and you have choices, which all this is going to change anyway. So it's not even really worth going into. We're going to redesign this over the next couple of weeks, maybe. There aren't going to be any more streams this week other than maybe this afternoon. And then we're going to start developing this. We're going to develop it for real. So I wanted to come up with music for it, and I've done a bad job so far. So now we're just playing music for the fun of it. Yeah, no more streams this week, other than, like I said, maybe this afternoon, because I just really need to catch up on stuff. For the entirety of the last, I don't know, 2-3 weeks, normally I would try to take Thursday to get stuff done and not just keep pushing forward with the game dev, but I was just pushing forward with game dev the entire time. Sounds like ball music. Such a, well, maybe not that high. Such a nice instrument. Very warm. Am I improvising? Yeah. All right, next instrument. Oh, also nice. Oh, there's a pad in the background. Yeah, hands being more visible. I think I need to like duplicate this entire scene. Let me just do that really fast. And then change this. And then hope that there's enough. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, that's like I'm not gonna spend more time on this because we're only gonna be doing this for another 5 or so minutes, probably. Yeah. Oh, too loud. You know, honestly, that could work as something. This. For the intro music. Just bought FL so I can stop using Logic Pro. I haven't really tried a lot of Logic Pro, I think. I maybe used it once or twice a very long time ago. Whoa, gotta not do that. Sorry, that's like super loud. All right, let's finish up with something on this. This is a really cool sound. In fact, let's go an octave lower. Hey, Perry. What am I trying to go to there? Yeah, very cool instrument. What am I listening through? I'm using some like $40 speakers from 15 years ago. They're not great. All right, I need to take a break because we're going to switch into mentoring, which is a wild deviation from this. But this has been fun. I'd like to do this again at some point, maybe, but I don't think this was productive. I think it was just fun. And I think I need to be productive if I'm going to have a timeline for this game. So for now, let's unplug this. Let's switch into regular streaming. Switch out of this. Move this back over here. All right, so here's what's gonna happen. I am gonna take a quick break. It is 11:13. We're gonna take about, I don't know, 4 minutes or something like that. Then when I get back, it's gonna be prep for mentoring, and then mentoring for an hour, and then lunch, and then something. Who knows what the something's gonna be? I'm guessing it's gonna be some kind of coding, prototyping. I don't know. Whatever, we'll figure it out. War Angel, thank you for the sub. I'll be back in a little bit. I hope you enjoyed the music. And is it jump time? It's jump time. All right, hey again, everybody. Set up the green screen again. That's a problem. We'll fix that just by zooming in. There we go. Perfect. Close the game. Congrats, Mudkip. You're 1-1-1. All right, yeah, we got to get into prep for mentoring. So let me go change everything about the stream. All right, I have a mentoring prep sheet. And we're going to change the title to one-on-one career mentoring. And today's session is number 4. Yeah, actually, I said I was going to do something like 6 to 9 sessions. And I am at 4 and 5 with most people, I think. Let's say done with that. Probably need to go update YouTube as well. I do mentoring. Yeah, actually, whoa, shut up, Adam. I do mentoring. Yeah, you can find out more actually through this. I think that'll answer all the questions. I am not taking on new mentees. The current set of mentees signed up like 2.5 or 3 years ago for a thing that they didn't know would even happen. Okay, so next up, I have, Beardage, this one. All right, so I want to look through my old session notes. Where was it in mentoring prep? I have like what percentage this is supposed to be. Set browser zoom to 120% and Google Docs to 100. So this is 100, but this can't be 125. Yeah, 125. There we go. And then close this. All right, so let's read through the old notes of session 3. I haven't met with the staff engineer yet. Sick kids. I remember family was taking up the majority of the time for Beardage last time. Last one-on-one, manager expressed appreciation of Kyle's value. Manager's confidence that Kyle can run projects. Manager has the ability to monitor the nitty-gritty. And Kyle for doing that. Kyle wants to get better delegation. Yep. Says he's good at that already. This puts you on the path toward improving anxiety and self-doubt. Concerned with his own code rather than managing stuff. All right, yeah. Still want to do IC level work. Yeah, unfortunately, it's hard for me to sum this up for everybody as I'm doing this because I want to make sure that I'm giving the mentee the most value and that the stream is sort of kind of secondary, some educational value, probably a small amount of entertainment value from this. So I can't kind of get everyone on the same page, but I think you'll hear enough from our conversation where you can probably fill in some of the blanks. And this document is not public, even though I read it on stream. Only solid chunks of time or when he's at work. And I remember the flexibility bit. Doesn't want to be a manager, likes the non-IC bits of the job. Yeah, I kind of wonder, like, where do you want this job to go other than to the next level? To, I guess, like, yeah, to principal level. How open are you being a staff level manager? Wants to satisfy his creativity, and if that's happening, it'd probably be fine. Earlier, he was being positioned for leadership too early. Yeah, we talked about management versus IC. IC is individual contributor, for those who don't know. It's that, you're a developer, you're a data scientist or something. It's not like you're leading other people. All right, doesn't have scheduled one-on-ones with people he's delegating to, and since they're not underneath him, does think about the skills that they have and their gaps, tries to allocate that tasks in mind. Has someone refactor code that only worked in one viewport. Sounds good. Timelines, yes, aren't very strict timelines, yep. Still lower on points for sprints, but try not to carry, yeah. How are sprints going in general? Over a month ago, still feels bummed. Oh yeah, is there still social momentum for the team? What's being done about that? We'll probably end up talking about some of this too, and I know Kyle wrote some notes as well. Yeah, how are the co-working huddles going? once a week for about 8 weeks. What's the turnout like? Nothing at first. After the on-site people join, happy with the turnout. Nice to talk about stuff. Yeah. Do you feel like you have friends at work? This isn't super important, by the way. I don't ask these questions that I would ask them to everybody. I'm asking these because I think they're beneficial for the context that I have, given the context I have. Okay, what was the challenge presented? Yep. Like I'm on projects. People like pairing up, yeah. Yeah, a lot of this, it sounds like the company culture is, I don't know if I'd say like great or something, but it sounds like it's improving. It sounds like it's been good. I think with a remote first company, it's always hard to work on culture across so many different states and countries and teams, time zones. Yeah. Okay, generalize stuff between people and teams. Bunch of forms, lots of UX. Yeah, pushing for shared components. I remember the conversation about this a little bit. Yeah, wanted to make things concrete, and the manager saying something about this. Yeah, some resistance from his manager to make a general UI library. Yeah, how is the UI library stuff going? Is everyone on the same page? Okay, sounds good. Prospective future employer said they let him know next time this comes up. Oh yeah, and Kyle and I talked on Discord about this a little bit too. And I wonder if anything came out of that. Did anything come out of the recruiting message from LinkedIn? Or yeah, the recruiting email from last session? I don't expect that something came out of this necessarily, but it's possible that something did. Interview thing was a nice boost, getting good feedback. Yeah. Celebration. Did you eat Thai food? Most important mentoring question. Yeah, so this is something I had marked down as a star, and then this. Has your wife noticed any differences in your work-related behaviors? Feels like he's articulated his feelings on the subject better to her, so she understands what he's going through. She's aware of the situation. His youngest is going through a developmental leap right now, so sleep is poor. Kyle's what? Yeah, is sleep better? I think is actually question number one. Is sleep better? Is your sleep better? Was it working on a Saturday bit? Yep, the flexible hours. Expects to get sleep soon enough. Yeah, that's the part I think we need to talk about too. Looked into it. Progress with books. Okay, yeah, and things are going pretty positively. So I think this is a good setup for us to talk about here. I see Kyle still typing. All right, so there's all this stuff. There we go. And now I got to finish up the rest of my mentoring prep that we have. All right, so what do we have? Switch to setting up for mentoring, studio mode, virtual camera. Hopefully this works. I've had this happen once where this just broke. And I think the timer broke. So there won't be the session time, but it should last about an hour. I gotta figure out. Actually, I wonder if it probably didn't just get fixed, did it? No, it's a 404. How stupid. Oh well. All right, so I open this up. Yeah, a lot of this is just the positioning of everything because there's no way for this to automatically happen on Mac OBS. All right, so that's done. Now Chrome for Google Docs is already there. OBS is there. Discord. Gotta make sure Discord's open. Cool. How about the call? Read last session. We did that. We did that. Oh yeah, audio or today command. Excuse me. Didn't do that yet. All right. Adam is mentoring Kyle. Today is Monday. They're on session number 4. Yep. All right, cool. I think we're all set up and it's pretty much time. All I need to do now is just make sure that my notes are showing to all of you. Where is this? There. Okay, so I'm going to switch over to this. There we go. So you should all be able to see chat above me. Why does that look cut off? Is it cut off? I can't even tell. I think it is. Oh, man. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, we can do this. Yeah. This is doing weird stuff right now. Whatever, that's fine. Join on the mentor program in the future. When is it open again? Oh, when it's open again? Yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like in the future. I've enjoyed doing it. I think the mentees have gotten value out of it, but it does take a good chunk of time, and I don't think it's very popular content. And so it's a question of, how much am I doing it for me, for the mentees, and then for content creation and for kind of moving forward. So yeah, I don't know what it's going to look like in the future. All right, I'm going to call Kyle, and the meeting isn't technically till 2 minutes from now, but let's see. Pop out call. Add members and Discord video. Hello, hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And chat, can you hear Kyle? How about Kyle? Why don't you tell me how did your morning go so far?
It's been going well.
Cool.
Just been working.
All right. Well, I'm glad. I think our time zone differences are slightly off now, right? From what they used to be.
Yeah, Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time,
Yeah.
so it's shifted.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we're here and I'm looking forward to talking to you about this stuff. So let me just get started over here. All right. There we go. So yeah, hi. Great meeting with the manager. Why don't you tell me about that? Let's get started.
Yeah, hi. Good to see you. Good to see you again. Yeah, so I think it was last week. I had a good one-on-one with my manager.
Yeah.
Um, Covered a bunch of stuff. It ended up being a lot longer than it was scheduled. Um, because somebody else didn't show up for theirs, so we kind of like um put the two meetings together and just kind of like spent the whole time talking. But it was good catch up. We He kind of like reaffirmed uh, the that like the way he's planning the team out and the way he's seeing the future of the company grow is having me be in the technical leadership position, and kind of like affirming that like he thinks I'm good at that and like I'm providing value in that direction. So like he's got kind of the work has been shifting in that direction. And part of that, I don't know if we talked about it last time, but he recently released like levels.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Actually, sorry, you're on the wrong part of my screen. Okay. So he released like a leveling system that's like official with like criteria and stuff within the company that we didn't have before.
Yeah. And by the way,
Original.
do you fit into the level that you are? Because now there's criteria.
Yeah. So we originally there was no structure to the levels. The owner did not really care about titles, that kind of stuff. So like, I was brought in as a senior, but like nothing more specific than that.
Yeah.
Now there's senior one and two, and then staff after that, and then principal after that.
Yeah.
So, and there's also like 5 levels before senior,
Yeah.
because we do have a lot of more junior people. So we are not slotted into these levels yet. That
Mm.
will happen at the next you know, evaluation period where we do like I forget what they're called, like salary adjustments and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, yeah. Which is when?
Uh, I have to look it up, but I would say like on the order of months from now. You know, five, 4 or 5 months from now, maybe.
Okay. And do you know what happens? Suppose they said, wow, turns out you're, one level below CEO. Does that mean because your title was senior that you'd be getting a raise or something? Did they talk about?
Yeah, so he mentioned that he said so he wants staff level at our company to be equivalent in skill to staff level at larger tech companies,
Yeah.
and associated with that, he wants the total compensation to be not with like Fang level, but like uh higher than we are currently paying out. So if I got it slotted into one of the higher roles, there would be he kind of like alluded to a significant pay increase that he's been kind of like having to uh preload with leadership.
Okay. So that's promising because it's still at no point has it ever sounded like your manager didn't believe in you or didn't have your back. And
Sure.
every single time we've talked, and including this time, it sounds like he's rooting for you. Did he give you any? Well, okay, hints aside, he's published at least the criteria that you need for these levels, right? And when you read through it, where do you think you fall on that spectrum?
I would say I'm probably operating at senior two, but my work does seem to be shifting more towards staff level. I think um so he said like my the discussion that we will have will be kind of figuring out the difference between those two roles
Hmm.
because um we haven't done this before. We need to establish the specifics and kind of like the criteria for each level is kind of vague. It's like a couple sentences
Yeah,
rather than
yeah,
like a
yeah.
full list of responsibilities. So um this first like evaluation period will be like where these roles get built out fully.
Okay. And so you mentioned that your role is shifting more toward technical leadership. What does that entail, and how is that different from what you're doing now?
Yeah, so kind of like what I was doing was like I would be like the I've been doing a lot of project leading,
Hmm.
um, like tech. He referenced myself and another developer as like the tech leads for projects. Um, I've been doing that. I think some of the juniors have been able, like, I've been kind of like helping scope out stuff, brought in at the beginning of projects to kind of plan stuff out, drive the direction, and then um, it's kind of like delegated off of me. So that's been shifting more in that direction. So the work that I've been doing recently has been like, a lot of documentation, a lot of like the the IC stuff has been more like critical path issues. So like
Hmm.
important things like security stuff and um, kind of like very visible parts of the application that need to work uh, well. The other thing has been, let's see, and it's running the other screen, of course.
Am I jumping ahead of us?
I wrote it. I think I wrote it in, yeah. So directional work. So like I'll get put on a discovery spike for something that will become, um, like to kind of like figure out the viability of a feature or like things like that. So like kind of like how my understanding is of like staff responsibilities would be
Hmm.
in a company at this scale is kind of like how my work has been shifting. So I think that's a good indication.
Yeah, I think it is too. I want to ask you a couple of things because to me, it sounds like this is all growth. And I think growth is good. I think it's good when it leads to a compensation change or a title change, assuming that it's more responsibility, which it isn't always. Growth does not
Mhm.
mean more responsibility. Do you like where this is going? Do you like the direction? Because we talked about the difference between IC and management for you. And you said you're kind of open either way a little bit, but do you do like the IC stuff? And if you're getting your creative fulfillment met, then so yeah, how do you feel based on where you think this is going?
Yeah, I mean, it's clear that he wants me to go in the technical leadership position. That's what I've expressed to him in the past. Um, I think I get the impression that he feels like my skill set would be wasted in a more people management role.
Hmm.
And like he would probably do an outside hire for that if that came up,
Yeah.
rather than somebody that he knows has like the kind of like the expertise or like the information, the context of the application, like so much in their mind.
Yeah. But you like that? You like the idea of continuing to do technical leadership?
Yeah, I mean, it aligns with my goals. I was kind of like, I don't know, I was curious about the management, the other stuff. And that might be, I would be leading, I would be managing projects more than people,
Hmm.
but you know, people kind of as a consequence of that, in terms of just like work allocation. But I think that, yeah, I mean, it was a curiosity, but I don't think I feel negative feelings about, um, going in the direction that I had originally planned anyway.
Okay. Yeah. This is, it's very interesting to see this because I feel like this is the real world, but the time scale of these things is usually a little bit longer. And so to see this play out and, mentoring session number 4 is
I,
is nice, right? Because you said, hey, I want to get to principal level. And now you're like, hey, I might be principal level in a few months. So I like that it's along the lines of what you wanted to do. What are the surprises that you've had so far in doing this stuff? Because originally we were talking about sprint tasks and how you were really focused on that. And I want to talk about that eventually. But what things have come up that you didn't expect, that you like, that you dislike?
um, I guess I have less of a focus on sprint tasks, which is nice. I like the freedom to kind of like he kind of it comes with a level of trust that he understands that like I'm not going to be wasting time, um, and so if I go down a path and I see a problem and I like flesh something out as a ticket or something, like he understands that that is a useful work use of time, and so I'm not. It's nice for my uh, personality type
Hmm.
because I become obsessed with metrics. I think if metrics are aligned with me,
Yeah.
and so like abstracting myself away from the metrics, I think will be good for me overall.
Okay. But so I think that is a good surprise. Have there been any bad surprises? I don't want to necessarily focus on the bad, but it gives me a better idea of how you're engaging with this change.
Um, I mean, I think overall the amount of like features I've delivered has been lower,
Hmm.
um, which would have bothered me previously.
Yeah.
Um, I think I've adjusted to that, so it's not as problematic to me.
Okay. So in general, I would sum this up as you're taking the change well. It sounds like you're excited about what's coming up. How would you feel if months from now they said, you know what, turns out senior 2 is the best fit? I don't know if that equates to a salary change or anything, but would you be bummed? Would you say that's fine? We have a path at least toward principal.
Yeah, I don't yeah, I don't my happiness will not be pinned on getting allocated to staff level at that time. It seems like that's the direction things are going, but um it also like moves my goal up faster than I was planning anyway.
Yeah.
Um so it's kind of like I don't know if that makes sense, but like it was too like not too easy, but like I didn't put the amount of work that I needed to get there was not what I had kind of like accounted for or planned for.
I see. So you're saying that the corporate grind is too easy for you, and you're way better than no. I get it, and I think that's a good way of looking at things because that means you wouldn't be crushed or anything if this didn't happen, and
Yeah.
that would be a bad situation to be in, of course. And who knows, maybe it gives clarity or something. But um, let's say you get to principal. how does that change your goals? What do you think your new normal looks like? Like what reality do you live in, assuming that, yeah, a few months from now, I don't know, it's July and they say, yep, you are principal, significant compensation increase.
Oh well, so it'd be staff.
Or
Principal is
sorry,
like another
sorry, yeah,
level
yeah,
higher
yeah.
than.
Yeah, I jumped a level, but I meant staff this whole time. Yeah.
Um, sorry, can you
Oh yeah.
summarize
So
the
so
question
sorry.
again?
So let's say it's a few months from now and you get to
Mhm.
staff. Does this shift your goals? Are you just going to live in the world where you're staff and you say, I just want to just make this work, focus on family now, and kind of scale back on career ambitions? Do you want to then make it to principal, the next level after staff? You know, where do you want to go after that?
Yeah, I haven't put much thought into it, honestly. I think I would like I wouldn't like immediately start working towards principal. I
Yeah,
think
yeah,
like I would want to be the idea with like the scale of company in my eyes is that, you know, if I'm staff level at an early stage company and then it grows up to be a big company, then like that staff level role is like worth more than it is now. Like I've been a senior at a tiny company when I only had 5 years of experience and I, you know, wouldn't qualify as senior anywhere else because they just like default made me a senior. So
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
I'm leery, like I'm very sensitive to that uh, kind of like affecting my career growth and stuff. So I would definitely want to lean into being a really performance staff engineer and kind of focusing more on business goals than personal goals. If that were to happen, to grow the
Okay.
business to the point where like, you know, the staff level is the level it should be at.
Yeah. I think it's a good sign that these levels are happening now. I feel like most companies start off and it's the wild west of just getting a software product out there and then getting customers and then making sure you can even pay people because for some
Hmm.
startups that is a problem. And then you get to this point where you're growing, you have more engineers, you have a good variety of junior and senior. And now they're like, well, why did that person get promoted and I didn't? And you need to start standardizing on some things. I think this is good process to have for a company. And it's an indication to me that they're going to continue focusing in that direction of, this is probably the wrong word, but legitimizing themselves as a tech company. And
Hmm.
so I agree with what you're saying there. Also, I think almost at any point in your life, if the equation makes sense for you, how much time you're putting in, how much stuff you're getting out of it, then it really doesn't matter about title or compensation or anything because you're happy with where you are. So
Sure.
I think that's good. Um, we had talked about, the hedging your bets, getting interview skills in the past. So if you got to staff, does that now become a background focus at all? Or are you dropping it completely? Where do you stand with
I
that?
would, I would still want to. I would go after staff level roles
Hmm.
in that case. Like I would do the same thing. Like I would still want to be practice interviewing, but for staff level roles rather than senior roles, and then that have the ability to go in staff roles. Because like right now, I think if I were to level myself
Hmm.
in a tech company, it would be on the senior side, but with possibility of going into staff.
Yeah.
Um, so it would kind of just like bump that up a level in terms of what I would be testing myself against.
Okay. And how much of a drive would that be for you to go and seek out staff level roles? I mean, would you wait 6 months into your new position? Would you start looking pretty soon?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, it kind of it depends a little bit on what the salary adjustment would be. Like if it's like a significant thing, then I you know probably wouldn't need to look for a while. Depends on the climate when that happens and everything. Like right now, it's kind of like seems like all the hatches are kind of buckled down. So like
Yeah.
you have to be very conservative with job hopping. Um, so depending on the climate, I I I know for a fact that the company has 3 years of runway at any given time.
Yeah.
We were close to break even for a little bit. I think we're just under now. Um, but we have 3 years of runway in the bank. So I'm not concerned about, you know, a layoff situation happening, and it is a safe position right now.
Okay. I do have to pry into that just a little bit more based on what you said. You said it was about break even. Now we're a little under that, and they're planning on giving compensation increases to employees. Those things combined do not make me feel as confident about the 3 years. Do you know something
Yeah.
that you didn't share, or is that
I don't know if the 3-year runway will be maintained with the salary changes.
yeah?
Um, that's like math I'm not privy to yet, but I think um like it might turn into a 2-year runway if that's the case or something.
Okay.
Um, but yeah, I I just like I have peers that are in companies where it's like we have 6 months runway.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yep.
it's
Yep.
like
Yep.
it
Yep.
feels a lot more safe than that for the startup scene.
Yeah. And I agree. I think that when you fear that your job will go away, there's almost no way you could be a good worker at that job. It usually means that the company is probably doing poorly if people have that
Yeah.
fear in them. Yeah. Okay, so let me process this for a second. Sounds like you're potentially going to become staff this year, but if not, it could happen the next year or something. And at least
Mhm.
you're on the trajectory to getting there. Your manager's on board. You are taking more of a leadership role. You're doing less of the IC things, unless they're very important IC things. I mean, these are all signs to me that are steering more toward principal, or sorry, staff. I keep saying that. Because my next question was going to be out of curiosity, what if they're like, you know what, you're actually beyond staff? Would that surprise you? Would you be like, oh, I'm definitely staying here?
I think that would concern me more than,
Okay. Yeah.
you know, than please me.
Yeah. And do you know the description differences between staff and principal? Like what is the expectation difference?
I can pull it up real quick. Let me see. Mm, Okay. Yeah. So we have. Okay. So we do have another one in between. So there's senior two, staff, senior staff, and principal on the thing, and there are like it's very terse
Hmm.
responsibility summary.
Okay.
Um,
That's fine. We don't necessarily need to dig into that. Um, what I was going to mention
Actually,
is what?
there's more. There is more. I scrolled down and I saw more breakdown that I
Oh,
forgot about.
there is. Okay. That's good.
Yeah.
Uh, I guess how about as long as you have it open,
Mhm.
if you just look at it and then kind of think of your own resume or something on paper, do you feel like you fit staff already? I know we kind of talked about this, but that was when you thought there were more terse than they were.
Yeah, I think responsibilities wise, I align with it. They do have like rough timeline for experience.
Yeah.
And it's 12 to 15 for staff. Um, I think I'm on the lower end of that. I think I have 12 or 13 um years. Um, so I think I would fit like I could fit into senior two or staff depending on like how my work is allocated, I
Yeah.
think.
I mean, 12 to 13. And by the time you have this review, it'll be 12 and a half to 13 and a half or something
Hmm.
like that. And that's like
Yeah.
pretty much in the middle of that range. Um, Part of the reason I brought this up is the concept of terminal levels. And I don't think this is a massive discussion we need to have, but some companies say, you know, you can't stay at your entry level position. We just don't support that. You need to grow and you need to, and no company will ever probably say, oh, staff is not a terminal level. Like you should be able to stay at staff the rest of your career. So I don't think there's any push to need to go to principal or anything. And that would be probably many years away. So I think it sounds like things are going well there. How do you feel when it comes to sprint tasks? Because like you said, you had to grapple with it originally and you said you don't think it's much of a problem. Is there any other anxiety coming from that?
Um, I don't think so. I mean, time management is kind of tricky now because it's like my responsibilities are a little more vague.
Yeah.
So I'm more in charge of my time. So like that's kind of becoming more of a thing, but I think I've I think I've got strategies for it just because I've been um, you know, diagnosed ADHD for a while, and before that, you know, 25 years of undiagnosed ADHD trying to, figure out how to get stuff done. So I've kind of got time management strategies
Okay.
baked in.
No, that's good. I want to make sure that some of these things that we talk about don't continue to sort of plague you throughout the time that we're chatting, because otherwise I feel like
Sure.
we're not focusing on the right stuff. So, and I know you have other stuff written down and I'm kind of free forming it right now, but where would you say your focus is? Like, what are the problems you feel you're solving? Where do you feel you need help?
Uh, Help from our conversations.
No, well, okay, that too, actually. So, how about, yeah, let's start with that. But I was thinking it at work. But yeah, either one is fine.
I mean, so like at work, I I need to maybe understand more product things. Like if I'm going to have an impact on um, future work,
Hmm.
I kind of have to have more understanding of like the roadmap, I guess, like why things are in the order they are. So there may be a point where like I ask to be put into the product meetings,
Yeah.
because like I'm on the front end side, the client side, and a lot of the decisions are made in the design room, essentially.
So this is something that's kind of interesting because I feel like as you grow in seniority, usually there's an increase in number of meetings. And so then it becomes, how do I sort of cut back or only make sure I have valuable ones? This sort of thing is good to get insight into, even if that insight is just, oh yeah, I don't need to know this. I can trust that product is doing what they're doing, or I can read the output of that meeting and still do well at my job. So how many people are typically involved in this? You said product and design, and I don't know, is there a business unit involved? So yeah, how many people are involved? Let's start with that.
Yeah, so we have EPD, so it's like engineering, product, and design are like under one leader,
Hmm.
and that's my manager. Product and design meet separately with my manager,
Yeah.
and I see that meeting going on because we do it in Slack huddles. So I think it's 4 or 5 people. In the case, the fifth person would be like the CEO,
Okay.
who's also a computer science person,
Got it.
so has influence.
So 4 to 5 people is not so vast that there are these splinter conversations happening out of this with, 7 people over there and 12 people over there and no one can come to agreement. Would they be okay with you joining in, do you think?
Um, I think it wouldn't be a problem for everyone except for my manager might be sensitive to adding me to unnecessary meetings if
Yeah.
unless that was deemed necessary.
Yeah, I see. All right. And um so now let's pursue this from the other angle. Suppose you don't have insight exactly into how this roadmap is formed and why things are coming about. How do you think that impacts your ability to do your job?
Um, I don't know how to like I can drive direction from the angle of debt, but I can't drive direction from the angle of feature.
Okay.
If I'm not privy to like how features are like conceived and positioned.
Yeah. So, okay, in my experience, I've generally found that the more you know about product direction, the better, because decisions start as chatter, and that chatter can go in any direction at that point. And it could be something like, hey, we're thinking of cutting this feature. And that's not something you want to share widely because you don't want to scare people or get them to stop doing work. But if that's what starts, and then you start hearing more murmurs about that, and then finally the feature gets cut, and you're like, well, this was out of the blue. So those are the things I think being privy to could help. And that can go in the opposite direction too. Hey, this feature really caught on, and I think we need to start reallocating resources to it. And I've been on the receiving end of this from a more leaf node of a company where they just say, this project is now all we're doing. A pivot to this. We don't care about anything else. And all of a sudden it's like teams are scrambling to figure out, well, how are we ditching this other thing? How are we getting? So I do think it's probably important. And I think the sooner you can probably start, the better. And maybe it's something where you're just listening in, you don't have to fully pay attention. But I think that would be a good thing to start.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would say to strongly pay attention to, is it providing value for you? And recognize that there's some minimum time you probably need to wait before you can even tell, maybe 3 or 4 meetings or something. So yeah, I would say to look into that. If you were to talk to your manager, tomorrow and say, hey, I think I should join these meetings, do you think he'd say this may not be a necessary use of your time? Do you think there'd be pushback?
I think I could explain why I think it would be necessary, and he could, I think his default reaction would be like, I don't want to bog you down. You have enough stuff to work on, that kind of stuff. But I think I could speak to why it would be helpful for me if the direction of my role is moving in this direction type thing.
Yeah, and I think it would be. I also think that this is, it would be. It sounds like you have a small enough company. Does the CEO know you by name? Have we talked about this? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. But imagine if it were a bigger company and the CEO, I mean, they can't know every employee. So at some point you got to sort of put your name on the map. I don't think that's a problem, but yeah, I think it'd be hard to be a staff or principal level engineer, or I guess you said senior staff is there too, and not be in some of those meetings and intersect with that. So I think that would be good. I think that would help you. I think that would also probably give you some more confidence that what you're doing aligns with what everyone else is envisioning. And who knows what that'll change into. Maybe you really like those meetings. Maybe you do go more business oriented or something. And maybe that would help you as a staff level engineer. Okay, so I have deviated pretty drastically from what I think you want to talk about. So let's get back on.
I just added notes of updates from what we talked about and that kind of stuff. So we don't have to stick too strictly to what I had written.
Okay. Let's go back for a second to where do you feel you need help? So we talked about this. Yeah. This is a thing you could use help for at work. Is there anything else where you feel like I'm not totally confident what I'm doing at work?
I guess if I don't right now, I don't know where I fit with the structure of things because the structure is not solid, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't know what's my exact responsibility, and I kind of just assert where I can be helpful. So I don't know if, there's not strict criteria of what I should be doing right now, and I just kind of try to provide value in the ways that I seem to get feedback are good for my manager in meetings.
Yeah. But if there isn't that structure, it means that you could pursue it in the order you want or how you want. I think the risk that you could run there is the same risk people run as hobbyist developers, where they do things that are fun rather than what's necessary. And so you might be doing things where you can provide value, but that aren't high impact or of the right urgency or importance. So do you feel like there's a good mix of that? Like you can provide value and also you're looking at, yes, this is important.
Yeah, because we do enough check-ins to prioritize work that I think I get an idea of what's super important, and then I have some leeway where I can kind of work with.
Okay, yeah. I'll just say it doesn't sound like a concern. And I think it's reasonable from everything you said. I also suspect that your manager would tell you, hey, you went and pursued this, whatever, I don't know, you fixed a small bug that you didn't have to do. Hey, you really should consider delegating that. I don't have a reason to believe your manager wouldn't give you that feedback. Is that correct?
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he would. Yeah. So you have guardrails. This is like bumper bowling. You can't throw a gutter ball if there is no gutter. So I think your concern about being in tune with the roadmap is valid. I think you can join those meetings, and then I think that's probably all you would have to do. I don't think it'd have to be much more than that, and hopefully that's not a big time investment. Is there anything else? Basically, what I'm gauging from all of this is you seem to be set up very well. You can deliver. You have confidence in your skills. Your manager has confidence in your skills. There is a clear path for growth, And that path is not so far in the future that you won't just find out by whatever, 6 months from now or something. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Like if that's the case, and like I'm kind of like on a track that seems to be going in the right direction, like can I? Is there not like a what lever do I pull to like improve myself? I guess I don't really know. Like I've always had side projects going to like learn some other skill sets so that I
Hmm.
could get a better job, that kind of stuff. But like if I'm in the place where I need to be, um, I'm confused. You
Okay.
know what I mean?
So,
Like I don't know what to
yeah,
do.
yeah. I have a bunch of thoughts about this. So, you are being forged by the fires of experience right now. And you almost don't want to detract from that, because if you are set up for success and you are essentially slowly achieving that success, then doing something extra or different could be a deviation from that success. And it doesn't have to be, right? If you were like, hey, I have a clear technical concern, I don't know C++ pointers, I'm just making something up, right? Um, then I'd be like,
I
yeah,
don't.
go read a textbook or something.
Yeah.
Uh, and then you have solved a clear problem that you've identified. In this case, I think you are still learning. Like, you feel like you're improving on the job as you're doing this, right? But you're not
Mhm.
explicitly tackling these problems to learn or grow. It's just the responsibilities you're being given. And that's, like I said, that's the fires of experience right there. So if you can identify a gap and you feel like you have the time, then I think we should talk about it. But otherwise, I think it's like, just do a good job.
Yeah,
and,
that's
and
true.
and you will naturally progress, and that way you won't spread yourself too thin, which is a very real risk, especially with what we talked about last time with the lack of sleep. By the way, has that gotten better?
Um, the super problematic time has passed. When we're getting ready to do sleep training with my youngest, so that will, if she can get on a schedule like my other one did,
Hmm.
then it's like a whole new world of, you know, 5 hours in the evening to do what I need to do instead of, uh, you know, almost no, no time.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I hope that goes well. And I think even with that going on, you've still positioned yourself well at your job. So this is again why I say, like, look, you could go make an app in your free time or something, and what would that do for you? Take away time from your family, take away time from your sleep, whatever else right now. And if you find yourself at that
Sure.
time and you want to do that, by all means. But yeah, probably just keeping your nose to the grindstone at work. Does that sound liberating? Because to some extent, it would be like, wow, I am on the path that I need to be on.
Yeah, it's like an adjustment. Like I've been in such like a famine culture
Mhm.
for career stuff for so long that like that in itself is an adjustment for my mental positioning.
Yeah, and I mean, it's entirely possible I'm giving you, bad advice here, and then with any of this stuff, and you should be doing the opposite. I think based on, like I said, all of the indicators are pointing to you're on the right track. And you talked to your manager already. You in fact got, double the time you should have had because of the cancellation of the one-on-one schedule. At some point, and this is what happens in a lot of bigger companies, because the criteria is listed out for how you get leveled a certain way, people start asking, what am I missing? What am I missing? What am I missing? And sometimes managers give lip service and say, oh, no, you're fine. You're fine. Then promotion time comes around and you're not promoted. And they say, well, look, I've been checking in all the time.
Mhm.
Making sure you're almost in lockstep with your manager and with that career ladder, I think is a good thing to do. And yeah, I don't have reason to believe your manager is ever just giving you lip service. It sounds like he just truly appreciates your input and your work you've done on the team. So yeah, the famine is maybe over. I don't know, or at least for now.
Sure.
And yeah, if your company has enough of a runway and it looks like, yeah, I don't know, everything's on the up and up, then yeah, it sounds like you're on track. Um,
Part of that came from I so early in my career I feel like I wasted a bunch of time. I
mhm.
like stayed at the same place for way too long. I think I've mentioned before, I had like 5 years of the same year of experience. And so, like, I got senior title at that job, but I learned nothing past the first year, essentially. Um, and so, and also, like, it paid horribly. So, I really stunted my career growth. Like, after college, like, I could have gotten an internship somewhere and, been in like a totally different place.
Hmm.
And like I feel like I'm just now catching up to where like I should be in my career um at the time that I'm at.
Look,
So that's the adjustment period.
I get
That's
it.
like
I
the
get it.
adjustment.
But I think this is dangerous thinking, because saying that you've stunted your growth and that you're catching up are completely arbitrary, right? Like, feeling like you're behind somebody else, that's not sort of how life works, right? You lived your life in a certain way, and if you did, let's say, learn more at those 4 years or switched or got an internship, what else would have been different in your life? And I have seen people, I'm not gonna, I can't list any personal details, right? But I've seen people go full throttle on career, and I've seen people go full throttle on family, and I've seen both be like, I should have done the other thing. And that's got to say something about how the grass is always greener. And everyone has a different mix of what they want for those things, but I feel like you are you have a good mix of both right now. And so who cares about what got you there, as long as you're happy with where you are now? So
Yeah.
are you generally happy with your career standing now? Again, if you ignore the whole like, well, here's where I might have been eventually, like if you just looked at your standing in a vacuum, are you like, yes, this is good?
Yeah, I'm positioned really well for where I live, cost of living, that kind of stuff. Um, I feel like I have growth potential in front of me, and more if the company does really well. Um, I have a lot of flexibility because, like, I have a family, so
Hmm.
having being remote and having the flexibility I have to work on it, it's allowed me to like be part of my. I don't just come home at 5 p.m. I'm kind of just like around all the time. So I'm part of that. So I think in general, I'm like at the place where I would want to get to if I thought about the beginning of my career.
Yeah.
Like this is like a place I'd want to get to. I
Yeah.
just I'd like it's almost like I worked really, really hard the last few years
Yeah.
to catch up to get to this spot.
Yeah, but and this is kind of why I say it almost doesn't matter what had happened. I feel like, you've seen my tenant system and how I slowly steer myself every week. When that doesn't work or someone doesn't have that, then they sharply steer themselves, and that's what you did, and you are where you are now. And hopefully you don't feel like you regret even the course correction you had to do to get here, or that you overly worked or something like that, or you feel
Yeah.
burned out. So yeah, I think things are looking good on that front. There was one other thing I wanted to add with this. Let's see. No, I think that's it. Yeah. Well, okay, it's good then. Yeah, I think you're in a healthy state. So, now let's go to the question that you'd originally interpreted this as, which is, how can I help you? Do you think?
I mean, if I'm it's really nice to have these conversations, especially like what we had just talked about with the, you know, getting into the more of the product role, or not role, but like more of the product context. Um, just having somebody to speak about career stuff that doesn't work in my job
Yeah.
is like I have friends in the software industry that don't work in my job, but they are, one's a freelancer, a couple of them work at smaller companies and stuff. So nobody that's on my level at a tech company that is dealing with the same stuff or has the experience with like managerial structures and stuff like that. So like just having like a person to bounce these topics off of has been super helpful for me.
Yeah, and by the way, even if you'd said, I don't know, but it feels like it's been good, that's also totally fine. I feel like mentees don't ever need to know exactly what it is that could benefit them the most. And I agree. I think it is helpful to talk about this stuff and hear the inputs from someone who is not so close or so attached to the job, or is like, hey, I'm worried I'm going to hurt your feelings or something like that. Like, the mentor-mentee relationship at this point. So,
Yeah.
yeah. I keep, there's like something at the tip of my tongue and I can't pinpoint what it is. It's when you talked about your friends being in these roles too, and I don't know. Anyway, it'll probably strike me toward the end then. Okay, yeah. So let me make sure that we've talked about some of the other things that we have here. So you said go to for quality, review time, slot into this stuff. I know we've talked about these things already. Significant TC adjustments. Yep. Yep. Co-working sessions. Oh yeah. So co-working sessions. Why don't you tell me about those?
Yeah, so we like recently onboarded like another senior backend person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and they like joined the co-working sessions, and it was kind of like the personality type is very um Russian, if that makes sense. Like they're kind of like I know a lot of Russians for some reason, but the kind of like very serious.
Yeah.
Um, so it's been really helpful for people that you don't have a lot of meetings with to be able to have a very casual setting to talk about, like TV and stuff like that. So um, I think they've been helpful for more than myself. Like the team in general, I think has been getting value out of it.
Yeah. How do you run them? Do you do something like a shared Pomodoro? Is it just talk when you want to talk?
It's just kind of like everybody. The idea is like you go into a Slack huddle and you unmute and you work.
Yeah.
So people just kind of like have tertiary conversations while they're taking care of stuff.
And but everyone can hear those conversations, right?
Yep.
Okay. And so you essentially mute them if you feel like you don't want to hear them and people just manage that themselves. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. People manage their own mutings, I guess. The reason I ask is because sometimes there could be a tendency for those to devolve into purely conversational and like two people are talking the entire time or something. It sounds like you haven't had that issue. And honestly, even if you did, it's still providing value. Do you feel like you've got a stronger connection with people, not on a work level, on a personal level, from having these meetings, the co-working sessions?
Yeah, I mean, there's people, especially the people on other teams, like that I would have almost no interaction with, that like I have a good idea of, their personality, the stuff that we kind of like coalesce on, um, that kind of stuff where like we have like a camaraderie where we wouldn't have no other opportunity to get that.
That's really good. And especially in the context of missing the annual meeting, I know you're really bummed about that. Do you feel like things settled in a way that you're happy with here? Because being able to meet these people and talk to them and everything, I know it would have been nice to do in person, but this is the next best thing in my
Yeah,
mind. Yeah.
that's what it feels like. It feels like the as it's a good balance between like socializing too much, and like not socializing at all.
Yeah.
And because I've been in a company where like Slack was very used.
Hmm.
My last company, Slack was like extremely chatty. People were like spent all day in Slack, and I, had relationships with people in the support department and like all these kind of other parts of the company. Um, but it felt like too much time was being put in Slack,
Yeah.
and so like this company seems to strike a better balance um, with the addition of this co-working session.
Yeah. I think this is good, especially for the remote culture. Was the last company remote focused as well?
Yeah, that was my first company that was fully remote
Yeah.
for. Um, yeah,
Yeah. I wrote in my own questions for you, do you feel like you're becoming friends with people? And I don't think that's important for everybody, but given what you'd said and your desire to go to this annual meeting, do you feel like you've made friends out of these people?
yeah, yeah. Like I think, um, like we ended up making a personal or like a kind of like a Discord
Yeah?
offshoot from the Slack channel. So like we are trying to sync up for like game nights and stuff like that. So it seems like there's like a friendship culture emerging out of it, and it's even cross team. So it's like people that play games even outside of the engineering department.
Yeah. I think it's really good. I feel like this is where I really want to give the caveat to anyone eventually watching this that this is not advice for everybody and always become friends with your coworkers or something. And there are certainly reasons not to. But I think in remote companies, especially, it's it's this cold, almost machine-like environment a lot of times if you don't do any of that and you don't talk to your coworkers and you don't have a very strong reason not to. And I've met people who are like, I want to work 9 to 5. And I was just talking to someone who said, I don't even accept coffee breaks. This is an in-person job. I don't even go on a coffee break with someone. I'm like, I don't want to give off the wrong impression. Nose down, that's it. And that works for them. They're happy with their life. They don't feel like anything's missing. So great. But yeah, for other people, I think, you need those touch points, or else you just, it feels like, why am I doing this, or why am I here?
I worked like that, and it felt crushing to me because it was just like I'm just a ticket, a ticket closer machine.
Yep. Yeah.
That
And
I
there's,
could be an AI.
yeah, exactly. And there's only so much of that you can do before you start to lose an identity with that, which, by the way, oh, that's the thing. Oh my God, I finally remembered. I wanted to ask you, how do you feel that your company plays into your identity as a person? So, as an example, to give you some context for this, I might say something like, I play music and not I'm a musician. So that's like my identity as a person when it comes to music, because I don't do it so much that I consider myself good at it. Is this company like, I am proud to be an employee there. I am integrated into the fabric of the culture. How do you feel when you think about your identity in terms of the company?
It's a good question. Like the there are potentials in the product that I think would make us into a company that I would like be very proud to show. I
Hmm.
think right now we're in a position where it's like the way that I have to explain to people what kind of company I work for is very complicated, and
Hmm.
it's hard to relate to everybody. Like you have
Yeah.
to explain like a whole new category of things. So it's not like, I work for Uber and everybody knows what Uber is. Um, that's something that I'm like motivated if I continue on my trajectory. Like I want to make the company into something like that where like it's a category essentially. Um, I have often recommended my workplace
Yeah.
to other people. So I think like the company, like the people in the company, um, separate from like what the product is,
Hmm.
are extremely solid,
Yeah.
especially the
Yeah.
engineering department. I think sales has, I wouldn't recommend it for sales because it's kind of cutthroat, SaaS sales. But engineers, I've tried to like position my friends to get hired because like I think it's a rare mixture of um, a very like this the CEO and my manager were both are both engineers,
Hmm.
and so there's like it's like an engineering driven SaaS company. Like it's not we don't have um, like a deadline culture or anything like that. So it's like it's a great place to work.
Yeah. Yeah. And so you feel like you're part of this and you'd like to be kind of even more of an impact there, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did you happen to catch the interview I did with my friend Steve?
Oh, you know what? I started watching it. I didn't have a chance to finish it.
Okay, that's totally fine. He had mentioned this sentiment of, I want to do well at my company, and in order for me, like, he wants the company to want to do well enough where his work that he does is like commensurate to that almost. So he wants there to be a rocket ship that he can also be a rocket ship and like help fuel this thing. And I like that concept. I feel like if you're like the star player on your team or at your company, and the company doesn't really care and they're making, kind of middling sales or something, you're like, what, my work isn't paying off. And the other way around, where you feel like you're maybe bringing people down and the company's doing amazingly, you feel like, well, I'm not really part of this. And so there's some perfect middle ground there where, yeah, both are kind of going. So I think it would
Yeah.
be cool if you get to do that. I think as you grow in seniority and as the company gets more resources and everything, yeah, hopefully you can carve that out. All right, I want to move on to this one because you mentioned earlier, like, what should I do, to like, how should I fill any gaps? And so, yeah, side project, how's that going?
Um, yeah. So I really don't get very much time to work on it. Like I probably could put more time into it,
Hmm.
but I'm kind of balancing working the amount that I need to for work, and then like mental health, you know, video game breaks essentially. Like,
Yeah.
uh, I I don't feel highly motivated to put 100% of my free time into it, um, because it's not even like it's a tertiary skill. It's like a
Yeah.
mobile app is not something. I'm not on the mobile team. I thought it would be fun to work on it. I've had it as a goal for a while to like, build something and have it on my phone and use it. So I still think it would be fun to do, but it's just like it's a low priority.
Yeah.
Um,
I had suggested this to Peter in our conversations that there are certain things to just kind of drop when they're no longer serving you or when you're too torn between other things. And to be honest, this sounds like one of those things that maybe just wipe it from the radar. And if you feel like coming back to it in the future, cool.
yeah,
You mentioned you're a little bit stuck with configuration dependencies right now. That's just not fun, right? Nobody's like,
yeah,
I
it
want to
really
solve
is.
dependencies today, right? They
Yeah.
want to like get
Yes to that.
moving. Yeah. So, and unfortunately, it's like, well, the longer that passes, the less context you're going to have on how to even fix this or what you've tried. And like you said, tertiary skill, you're already positioned well at work. You are now playing video games with these people you started a Discord group with. I would just say maybe see how it feels to just say, you know what, for the next month, I'm not going to do anything. And then if after a month you're like, I miss it, then cool, go back to it. And if not,
Sure.
yeah. I'm going to just write my conclusion down there for, oh, was I going to say anything else for that? Oh yeah. Also, you probably learned something even while doing what you did in that time, right?
Um, yeah, I mean, I've never ran simulators before. I've never kind of like, uh, you know, I learned about the structure of React Native projects and kind of like the differences between React and React Native and things like that. So like, I've gotten value out of what I've done so far. It's just I haven't been able to work on the idea that I wanted to get to, and
Yeah.
which is kind of like it feels like a failure in the I don't know, it's like the library I'm using or something. Like I was using uh what's it called? Like the React Tailwind uh library, but it essentially is like it's supposed to be a starter kit, but there's like all these issues with, you know, the stable release essentially. So
Yeah. Well, and I think it's important to separate a failure of tools and a personal failure. Do you feel at all like you dropped the ball here somehow?
I didn't attach any I don't attach any feelings of failure to it because I didn't really have the expectation of finishing it essentially. Like it was with the side projects um I don't hold myself to finishing them because I think the act of working on them is the goal. And I've never had a side project that like I've monetized or anything like
Yeah.
that, so
Yeah.
it's just not my focus.
Okay, that's good. That's healthy. And I've heard people say in the past things like, I'm going to get this done. And then life changes. And for whatever reason, they can't get it done. And they're like, well, I failed at that. And I'm like, did you? Your requirements change. This is like a natural part of life, but also even software. It's like make feature A. Oh, wait, customers don't want it anymore. Stop making feature A. It's not
Yeah.
make it anyway just because you said you would. So, all right, that's good. Yeah. How do you feel about the concept of, and you don't need to commit to this, but are you okay with the concept of like, you know what? Yes, I'll just push this off for now. I don't need to work on this. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I would almost rather pick it back up again when like the thing I wanted to use is stable so that I can
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
the idea I wanted to work on.
Yeah. And that's another thing too, especially in the web world. It's always tough even figuring out what are people using nowadays if I want to use the best of the best. And unfortunately, a lot of times the best of the best is riddled with rough edges.
Yeah.
So sure, it might be the best thing for the people who know how to use it. And then, yeah. Okay, I want to look through my questions really quickly and see if there's anything else. Oh yeah, this part, because I have not gotten to do my new spiel with you about this. First of all, did you eat Thai food? Did you did you end up celebrating?
I guess not explicitly a celebration, but we have eaten Thai food since then.
Okay, yeah. So I don't think I talked to you about this, but I'd originally said, hey, I think we all need to celebrate our accomplishments more. And then what I realized is it's not just the okay, hey, I went out and bought a cake and ate it or something like that. It's It's acknowledging what you did that was good that got you here. And so without needing a celebration, I want to run through a mini retrospective with you right now that is solely focused on what hard work have you put in to get here. I want you to be able to pat yourself on the back and really recognize that you have grown, that you are learning, that you are doing valuable things. So please, you have the floor. Pat yourself on the back.
Reflect.
Yeah.
Um, I think, the last few years, I think I've worked really hard to get into a position uh, that I feel like I'm in now, where I don't feel behind. I feel there's there's a path in front of me. Um, I feel like I'm doing a good job providing for my family and kind of like sharing the mental overhead um, required. Like I don't feel burnt out right now,
Yep.
which is like I think an achievement for me because I was for a while, I had stuff going on, like my whole thing with my mother passing away, kind of just like put weight on everything else and felt like just pushed me towards burnout faster because it was just like I have less resources to allocate but the same demand for resources. Now that I feel like you know, I it's not so intense.
Hmm.
I think um, I feel very comfortable with my position and my allocation of resources, um, and I don't feel the need to. I don't feel like I'm behind, so I don't, which is means that I've kind of caught up to where like my mental position was,
Yeah.
um, which is big for me.
It's huge, and this is why I say I think we should do a mini retrospective on this, because otherwise I feel like what happens is we're just like, oh well, I did something and then yeah, I got a positive result, but I didn't really associate that with me doing the something, and so then I just move on and what's the next big thing and how can I do this? And it's like, look, you've got some breathing room right now. Soon you'll have even more when you get better sleep, I hope.
Sure,
and
yeah.
and you were beset by various issues over the years, like you said, even starting with ADHD to your mother's passing to missing the annual company meeting a couple of years in a row to dealing with, where's my validation coming from at work? My role is changing. How do I go from being an IC into this tech lead position? And so a lot has happened. And if you just think about that number of months since, whenever this, whoops, I dragged the wrong window. I'm trying to scroll in the document to see when our very first meeting was. It was December 18th. Yeah. So even thinking of December 18th till now, not even 4 months, and things are already pretty different from the kinds of things you were talking about back then. So yeah, acknowledge that, and then the next time you eat Thai food, think of this conversation. Then that'll close the loop. So any closing thoughts? Because we're kind of wrapping up on time here.
Uh, no, I mean, I like it's always good to catch up, and it's nice to frame it like this because um, if you're just heads down all the time and you don't discuss your career with anybody, it's really easy to just keep thinking of short-term goals and not expand your scope of like evaluation outside of that. So like I appreciate you, as an exercise taking me through that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I look forward to hearing how this stuff goes. I really, you know, I've been saying, hey, let's do 6 to 9 sessions or something. What I'd like you to do at some point is figure out when the evaluations are going to happen this year, because it would be nice to sort of like, I don't know when it is. If it's in December or something, we need to
Hmm.
just probably do a follow up session or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
I think it'll be cool to see that because it'll be sort of full circle from what we talked about originally. But yeah, thank you for your time. And I hope you have a good rest of your day.
All right. Thanks,
Yeah. All
Adam.
right, take care. Bye. All right, you know the drill, Chad. Everybody clap for Kyle. Except for I should be showing Chad on screen before I start clapping. What industry or product is he in? Is it known? So I don't want to share more than I'm supposed to share. So let me look at what's at the bottom of our list down here. Yeah, I don't know if he's explicitly shared it. and I don't know if I should be sharing more. So if he's here and he's listening, then he can share. But otherwise, yeah, sorry, Bokyo. Ah, speech to text engine. Yeah. Yeah, it's a SaaS product. Yeah. I don't know if, to me that's not necessarily industry exactly, because it could be such a range of things. But yeah, that is how my mentoring streams usually go. And so anyone who hasn't seen that, if that's interesting to you, definitely, stick around for those. I try to keep the mentoring schedule up to date. Where is it? Not that one. This one. Yeah, so the next session that we'll do is April 24th, which is 2 weeks and 2 days from now. Yeah. And yeah, we're getting up in sessions with some people. Pretty interesting to see. Yeah, general SaaS. Okay, yeah. So I am at the time of day where my stomach is overpowering the desire to do more. So I'm gonna get lunch. I think we will do an afternoon session, and it'll probably be focused on the prototype that I wanted to do. I don't know. We'll kind of figure it out, but it'll probably be more game dev focused, I think. Would you consider doing short one-off mentor sessions in multi-person bursts, as in 4 20-ish minute talks in a row? Doing them in a row, I think, would be a little bit tough. I have done one-off mentoring session, and it was with Casey. We did one on March 6th. Then, oh, that's not the right video. Wait, no, it's the right video. It's not the right thumbnail. Uh-oh, did I upload the wrong video here? How did that get that thumbnail? Yeah, I uploaded the wrong thumbnail. Oh, man. I don't know how I messed that up. Anyway, I've done one of them, but I think it's hard to say whether I could commit to more exactly. I like the idea of them, and maybe that's what I'll try next time around. Fix the thumbnail for this video. It's a video of Casey with a thumbnail of Peter. And yeah, future mentoring, consider doing just one-off sessions, maybe. Multiple conversations at the same time. Yeah, so mentoring from chat questions I've done, that I kind of call group mentoring, where it's like, hey, just fling a bunch of questions at me and I'll just nonstop talk for like 2 hours and we'll just cover everything. I think what Mudkip's talking about though is the one-off one-on-one mentoring sessions. And I think, or wait, maybe, right? I think that's what they were saying. Yeah. And I think it's a good idea. Like I said earlier, I think a lot of this comes down to like, why am I doing mentoring, and how is the audience taking it? So during our conversation just now, because it's not interactive, we had like 6 lines of chat, and it's a little weird to be doing that on Twitch, for example. It's like, this might be content you might want to watch on YouTube, but maybe I don't need to do it live, or maybe I need to do it live to get the mentee in the mindset of like, this is being listened to. So it's like you're already saying this for YouTube. I'm not sure. That's the best and most important question. So context for this, my original philosophy was that a celebration secures in our mind that we have done something good and acknowledges your hard work, but it doesn't. It's like I said in that chat, if you buy yourself a cupcake and eat it and say, wow, this is for all the hard work I did, that doesn't solidify for you. I think what solidifies it is looking back and acknowledging the actual struggles you went through and how you overcame them. There weren't 5+ sessions, but would still benefit from a short session that could establish a direction for the future. Yeah, I think a lot of people are probably in that case. And maybe for mentoring round 2, maybe in like 2025 or something, maybe that's the kind of thing I start considering. But I think when it comes to these sessions, I think there are a lot of people who, if I said applications are open, you can apply for this sort of thing, I think I'd be overwhelmed within like a few hours of people applying to it. Because yeah, that's what happened originally. People were like, how do I join this? How do I do this? And yeah, I was just like, there is no path for it. All right, it's lunchtime. I'm gonna get going. I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And when we get back, I'll do probably game dev stuff. So yeah, hope to see you in the afternoon. Take care. Bye.